Keywords and keyword modifiers, like I mentioned in the overview video for this section, this is like the backbone of Google Ads and paid search. This is where everything really starts. This is where your strategy starts. This is where your campaign structures stem from. It all starts with understanding keywords. Now, I have a couple of like examples in here from this account. Now, really like with keywords and understanding the strategy, the more you understand about marketing, marketing psychology, search behavior, the more this will make sense and the easier it will be to work accounts. So I'm going to make another training on search engine marketing principles at another time. But for now, like I think just understanding the technology and seeing it is really a good start, and that's what you'll get from this course. So you'll learn a lot of the basics here, but you won't really get the experience. So keywords, you can see we have a couple different things going on. We have for the same keyword, I'm just going to search Zodiac jewelry, and that'll filter it by keyword. And you can see I have Zodiac jewelry in here 3 times, each with a different, we call them, they're match types, but we'll call them keyword modifiers too. That's like old I guess jargon at this point is what we'll call it, for what match types are. But basically, what these all mean something different, and I'll show you what they used to mean years ago, and then I'll show you what they mean now, and then we'll go back into the ad account and take a look at some examples from these 3 keywords in this ad group. But basically, there used to be 4 match types. There was broad match, which is this. I'm going to skip this one for now. There was phrase match, which was in the quotes, and that's this one. And then there was exact match, which is in the brackets, and that's this one. This one here. So how this used to work is it's easiest to go the other way now. Oh, and then sorry, there was broad match modifier, which had plus signs in front of every word. This doesn't exist anymore. But basically, exact match, it used to show exactly the word in between the brackets and nothing else. So it used to say women's hats, and then it updated to close match, close variations. So close variations were basically like pluralizations, singulars, misspellings, all kinds of stuff. So exact match like opened up a lot of potential for more traffic. Now, you used to bid on those separately, but in the accounts, a status started popping up that would say like search volume too low for this keyword, and you couldn't actually bid on it. So when that happened, everything with keywords started going more broad. I think that happened in like 2019 or 2020. I don't really remember. It was a while ago. But when that started happening, all the strategies started changing. People tried to revert it with scripts, but once Google starts moving in a direction, they don't typically stop from what I've seen. So everything started going more broad. Then there were phrase match keywords. This is basically if it contained these words in the search term in order. So then this is basically how this would work. So maybe we should back up and just look at search terms real quick. So you could see here for like, we'll filter on match type, and we'll just do exact match for now just to see. But these are my keywords, and I'm gonna actually add into my columns real quick. I'm not gonna go crazy and add them all right now. We'll do that later. Here we go. So keyword, we'll drag that up to the top. So here you could see which keyword triggered which search result. So you could see here, I have in this one ad group, keywords for a couple different things that are exact match. Zodiac bracelet, jewelry, necklace, ring. I basically took everything with the root word zodiac in here. And we'll talk, when we talk more about ad group structures, we'll go into why this was the way it is later, the strategy. But right now, just really try to focus on learning the technology. So exact match, you could see it's exactly this. And then what happened was, like, you could see the close variants, slightly different misspellings of it, a couple extra words in there sometimes. So when you look at phrase match, exact match close variant started performing a little bit like phrase match. But this has changed so much. Like, these definitions are a little bit old, so I'll kind of just run through them. But basically, the relationship between keywords and search terms is the keyword you're bidding on will trigger various search terms. And it's up to you, the marketer, to determine when it makes sense to either turn a keyword off, add some negative keywords. So by the end of this section, this will make a lot more sense. It's kind of hard to really explain this without touching on a little bit of everything at the same time because of how intertwined all these components of keywords are. So phrase match would basically say, if it contains this phrase. Broad match modifier was basically if it contains any of these words in the search term in any order. So you could say women's red hats, women's blue hats for women, in any order. Like you could see it here, hats for women. But so that way, like you could see there's a word breaking it up. The keyword, it's being broken up in the middle with the word for. And then phrase match wouldn't do that. So that's how these used to work. And then broad match was a little bit more contextual. It would take like words that meant the same kind of thing. Like you could see it replaced women with ladies. So this is old. I think they even updated this chart at some point. I've used this chart to train people for a long time, so I just kind of went looking for it. Basically, it's different now, and you could see that here in Google's documentation. Now, Google's documentation, again, the support stuff, it's pretty good. Sometimes there's some old stuff in here. It's a little bit crazy, but for the most part, like if you're looking to understand how some of this technology works, I highly recommend searching through it. And just to show again how you would do that, you basically just filter your search result using a site search operator. And then the keyword, you could put it in quotes, you could use an in-text modifier. I didn't do it this time, I just typed the word. And basically now exact match, how it works is, and we'll go back here, exact match shows exact match and close variants. So it's misspellings, but you could see like Zodiac necklace showed up for Zodiac signs chains as an exact match close variant. So what's happened now is the lines between all these have blurred. And this has been happening for some time, and it's continuing to blur more. Broad match modified keywords don't even exist anymore. So they got completely thrown out, and now there's only 3. So you could see like they're moving more and more towards basically not having keyword modifiers. This is where this is eventually going to end. And it's, kind of love it or hate it. I mean, you could see here, it's opened up a lot of interesting ideas for targeting keywords just with this. So like anything in this industry, change, there's 2 sides to it. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. You basically just have to figure out how to leverage the good parts of the change. And that's kind of what I'm trying to show in this course. So with the Zodiac necklace exact match keyword, it triggered a close match variant. That wasn't even a misspelling. It didn't even contain the word necklace. So just interesting stuff to keep in mind. Now phrase match, again, phrase match showed up. So now this is like traditional phrase match behavior. But what happened was, it's not traditional phrase match behavior. They basically turned phrase match into broad match modified. So now it's basically any of these words in any order is how it works. They don't necessarily have to be connected. They can be broken in the middle now. So that's when phrase match, when broad match modified disappeared, phrase match started behaving like broad match modified. And that's how you get this. And then same here. You could see like these close variants, Zodiac rings, like it added the pluralization of it. It added the word gold here and the pluralization with these close variants. So this one's actually probably behaving a little bit more like a phrase, like, the keywords should. And you could see here, so we actually have this looks like a broad match keyword, but you could see it came up as a phrase match. So, it's interesting, like you could really see the lines starting to blur here. And this is back in January this ran, so you can imagine it's even more different now. And then here's your broad match keywords. Like we're getting Zodiac charm, stud jewelry, which if you Google this probably has nothing to do with Zodiac stuff, right? This could be anything. And when it comes to like machine learning on this, we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to bidding, but it does make sense in some cases for this. So these are the keyword modifiers. So really, like, I've started viewing these as audiences essentially, where like I'm selling Zodiac jewelry, but I'm treating these keywords and keyword modifiers for the term Zodiac jewelry as like black boxes, black box audiences, right? Where they're going to target different stuff. Some of it's going to be more relevant, some of it's going to be more specific. So I kind of look at these as a spectrum. So instead of a set hard stop between each of these where they all mean something different, it's more of a spectrum now. More specific is exact match, more broad is broad match. And you know what? They all have potential to get sales. And sometimes you'll get sales on weird stuff like stud jewelry. And so, you know, we're even finding now we're not even needing to really use negative keywords as much unless there's something that's really off. And there's a few ways to determine what that would look like. But basically, you know, we're tapping into the people side of bidding, which I am going to talk about a little bit later. But essentially, the best way to think of these keyword modifiers now, I use all of them in an ad group. I'll stick all of them in an ad group, and I'll basically let them run for a period of time, depending on the product, the AOV, the brand's budget, and I'll start making cuts. I'll start pausing stuff that doesn't seem to work well. I'll start increasing budgets on stuff that does start to work, depending on the bidding strategies. And that's kind of how you approach it. You just look at the search term reports here and see, like, you know, does it make sense? Is the stuff like way off? Is it relevant but not working? And there's a few different ways you can go with it from here. But just think like keywords relate to search terms, and negative keywords are how you might get stuff to stop showing up. So if I didn't want anything like Chinese jewelry to show up here, I would exclude Chinese, and that's what we're going to do in this section as well. We're going to look at lists, negative keywords and negative keyword lists, and we'll talk about how to fix that. Maybe we'll even use this one as an example. But yeah, so this is keywords, this is keyword modifiers. We're going to look a little bit more into search terms, a little bit deeper in the next one.